So it's been 18 years since I've been living here in Norway. I was around 8 years old when I came here. I came from Burma, so I didn't really know what to expect. But luckily things has been great. I am very blessed to be here in Norway. So in this video, I want to talk about 12 things that you might need to know before coming here to Norway. We're talking datings, we're talking cost of livings, we're talking transportations, and the benefits of living here in Norway. And I also want to give you guys some apps that you might need. The apps will be very useful for you guys, so stay tuned. For number one, I want to talk about public transportations. Public transportation are the best way to get around here in Norway, in my opinions. And for the bus, we are using apps to pay tickets because it is a lot cheaper, and the apps will be based on regions. So in Oslo, they are using the apps called Ruter. Here in Stavanger, we are using the apps called Columbus. Telemark, they are using the apps called Farten. So be aware of that. The apps that we are using here in Stavanger won't work at Oslo or Telemark. So keep that in mind. And we have a lot of electric scooter that you can rent. There are several apps that you can use, but I personally use the apps called Ride and Void because I think it is much easier to use, and you just scan the QR on the apps and you're good to go. You also pay on the apps, so it's quite convenient. For the broader train travel, you want to download the apps called VY. It allows you to see when the train is coming, and you can also buy the tickets there. So it is for the further train travel. Grabbing taxi here in Norway can be quite expensive, so I personally never use it because as a student my budget doesn't allow me to use it, so I just use public transportation. So if you want to save money, just go ahead and download those apps that I recommend and you will be fine. For number two, I want to talk about the cost of living here in Norway. Norway has one of the highest in terms of cost of living in the world, but it will depend on your lifestyle and locations. And it is a big topic to cover. But anywhere you go in the world, you have to feed yourself, right? You have to eat. So let's talk about food costs. So as Asian coming here to Norway, I do sometimes crave Asian foods, but import foods are quite expensive. And a basic grocery basket for bread, milk, eggs, and cheese can cost you around 800 kron per week for one person. And I do sometimes take myself on a date to restaurants, and I don't go to expensive restaurants, just normal. And when I do go out, I spend around 500 kron for myself. But for 3-course meal for 2 person, I think it will cost you around 1000 or even more. So it is quite expensive to eat outside. And yes, we do have food delivery here in Norway. There's several apps that you can use, but I personally use the apps called Foodora and Volt. And the apps sometimes give you coupons and even free deliveries, so sometimes it's convenient. But you have to remember it is quite expensive compared to other countries like Thailand. But if you really want to save money, just go ahead and download the apps called Too Good To Go. The apps allow users to buy unsold food at discount price. So you get these mystery bags of food, like a surprise bag. So you don't get to choose food from the menu, but I think for the price you're paying for, I think it is quite good. I personally use a lot when I was living alone. But if you really want to save money, I suggest you have a good budget. When I was living alone, I had this budget, and the budget allowed me to save a lot of money. And the money I was saving, I was able to pay back my student loan quite fast. So having a good budget can go a long way, trust me, and you'll be much happier at the end of the month. And another thing I want to mention is housing. Housing can be quite expensive here in Norway, and there's a big difference between small city and big cities. When I was studying for my bachelor degree, I was living in this city called Telemark in Bø. It is small city, so I was paying around 4,000 kron per month, and I was sharing kitchen and living room with 3 others. And I have friends who was studying in big city like Oslo, and they were paying around 7,000 kron per month or even higher than that. And they also share their kitchen and living room. For 7,000 kron per month in small city, I think you are able to live by your own. You have your own kitchen, your own living room. So there's a big difference. I never bought a house here in Norway, but it is quite difficult to get into the market because it is quite expensive and the price are raising every year, especially in big city like Oslo, Stavanger. They are quite expensive. There are several apps and websites that you can use to buy stuff, renting apartment, or even buy a house here in Norway. But I personally use the apps called Finn.no. It is the biggest online marketplace here in Norway. And you can use the website called Hybel and Husleie, but I recommend that you download the apps because it's like an eBay, but you can also search for a job and even service like a cleaner. So there's a lot of things you can do there. So I recommend you use the apps called Finn.no. For number three, I want to talk about always keep Bankcard with you. It's kind of opposite of other country like Thailand. There you kind of have to always keep cash with you, right? But here in Norway, it's kind of cashless here in Norway. So there's some places that don't accept cash. So always keep Bankcard with you. And here in Norway, we are using the apps called Vipps. It is a mobile payment app, and it is quite popular and it's quite convenient to use it because you can use it on online store. You can also use on supermarket, and if you forget your bank card, you can use the app. But to use the apps, you do need to have a Norwegian phone number and Norwegian bank card. So keep that in mind. Number four, I want to talk about ATM. We don't have a lot of ATM here in Norway. We call them mini bank, but you do see them in front of a grocery store or the front of the bank, but we don't have a lot of them. So keep that in mind. But you don't. It's kind of okay because you don't have to always print your money. Like I said, it's kind of cashless, so you'll be fine if you have your bank card with you. Number five is kind of obvious, but always keep a translate app with you. Norway has become this multicultural country, so you do see people from France, Brazil, Thailand, or even from Poland. And even though most of the population here in Norway do speak English, some of the restaurant, their menu is only written in Norwegian, norsk, so it does come in handy. For number six, I want to talk about dating life here in Norway. Norwegian people are quite known for not being typical small talkers, and it might feel like challenging to have an engaging conversation with them. But I think Norwegian people are one of the most misunderstood in the world because they might seem like these rude people and they don't want to talk to you, but it's only because they value their own privacy space and yours private space. So that's why they don't really talk to people. And I will say that Norwegian people are honest and they are proud people. So if they love you, they love you. They will tell you straight. And if they don't, they will tell you. And most of them. And they are also very big on equality. I do see a lot of girls paying for their dinner, dating dinner. And some of you might find this quite unromantic, but it's quite normal here in Norway. So in terms of apps, I don't really use dating apps or I don't go to dating websites. So there might be a lot of them here in Norway, but Tinder are one of the most popular apps that they use here in Norway. Number seven, I want to talk about drinking and nightlife here in Norway. You must be 18 years old to buy alcohol drinks and 20 years old to buy a strong one. And many of Norwegian people drinks at home or at their friend's house before heading to bars or at the club. We call this force, meaning pre-party, and after-party, they are having nach, meaning after-party. So after you are done partying at the club, you go back to your own place or at your friend's house to continue partying. And they are doing this to save money actually. Alcohol drinks are quite expensive at the club or at the bar. So by doing this, they are saving a lot of money. One thing I can say about Norwegian people drinking is that they might seem like these shy people, don't want to talk to other people, but once they have alcohol in them, their mouth is like 7-Eleven. It's always open and they talk a lot. But I don't see them being violent. I don't see them causing big trouble, most of them. So I think they just being very chill and just want to have conversation with you and that's what I love about them. For number 8, I want to talk about where to live in Norway. Each of city have their own charm and lifestyle, so it will depends on who you are. Oslo is known for a great job opportunities and excellent public transportation, but it has high cost of living. And Bergen is known for beautiful mountains and seafood and rainy climates. Some of you might find this charming, but other might not. Trondheim is known for being youthful because a lot of students are studying there. So there's a lot of options that you can choose from. But if you like smaller city, you can go to Drammen, Bø, Haugesund. Like there's a lot that you can go to, and they have lower cost of living because of their housing. For number 9, I want to talk about the long dark winter we have here in Norway. It's quite surprising how much the sunlight affects the way people feels and what we do as every day. Like even Norwegian people here are complaining about this, so I feel safe to talk about this topic. From October to March, sometimes you barely see the sunlight, and it kind of make you feel some type of way. Sometimes you might feel tired fast, or you might feel maybe a little bit sad, and you feel kind of down. I want to show you guys at the outside. This is like 4 p.m. right now, and I just came outside of my school, university, and it's already pretty dark, as you can see. The snow is here, but it was raining from the morning, so the snow ain't that much anymore. I wish I knew this before, but it's much better to just go outside and enjoy the outdoor activities. Norwegian people love to embrace their nature, so they love to go hiking, they love to go skiing, and just put on good clothes and embrace it. Yeah, because you will feel a lot better and you might feel a lot happier. Here in Norway, we say there's no bad weather, but only bad clothes. So if you put on good clothes and just go outside, I promise that you will feel a lot better. Okay, for number 10, I want to talk about the lack of street life that we have here in Norway. Because of the long dark winter here in Norway, I think there is a lack of street life. Maybe because of the culture too. So let's say let's say where I came from. If you are hungry at the middle of the night, let's say 1 a.m., you just go outside and you see people selling fish fry or pancake, and you also see people singing, doing yoga, right? You feel lively there. But here in Norway, because of the long dark winter that we have here and the culture that don't speak to the strangers, um, you kind of feel little bit lonely. So be aware of that, and I would say just be mentally prepared for that. There's a place that you can go, but there's a limit. So you can go to 7-Eleven, and you can also go to 24 hours store. So just be prepared for that. For number 11, I want to talk about the benefits of living here in Norway. We talk a lot about Norway being an expensive country to live in, but Norway has one of the highest living standard in the world, and the salaries are high to match the cost of the living, and the benefits are great. There's a lot of benefits living here in Norway. One of them being employees are entitled to 25 paid vacation per day per year, and parental leave are great here in Norway. Healthcare are amazing here in Norway. My mom had a cancer before, and it was free to treat her. We pay almost none, so it's amazing, and I am very proud to say that I live here in Norway. For number 12, I want to talk about the safetiness here in Norway. I feels like Norway has potential to be a role model for other country, because I feels like the system really care for the people, and the people are voting, they are legit. And I feels like it is a country built on trust, and I do feel safe around police. I do see a lot of girls taking the bus alone or even walking alone at the middle of the night. Like you cannot do that in some country. Like it's not safe, but here in Norway it's pretty safe. I do see a lot of them doing that, and me myself, I do walk alone at the middle of the night, and I have no fear. Like I feel safe, so it's pretty safe out here, and I do feel safe on my needs. I feels like my needs will be fairly met. The equality are big here in Norway, and the people are nice. They are kind. They love to help people, and like I said, the system really care for the people. So coming here from corrupt country like Myanmar, this is like one of the biggest pros. So I will be forever grateful to live here. That's the end of the video, guys, and thank you for watching my video. This is a small YouTube channel, and I appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, and I see you next time.